Alright, you bastards, this is Some-Belgian-prepper, and today I want to talk about something that I discovered in a way through watching through some history channels, and that is how would you transport something over difficult terrain in forest area or something in big quantities on an easy way where you do not have possession of a cartwheel or something else like that. And I found particularly two big examples for this. And the first one is the first one was for the U.S. military during World War II. They had this kind of, if you can see, this kind of external frames where you could put a lot of ammo boxes on top of it, and that way you can transport your ammo or other supplies by soldiers, of course, on a trail that is made safe by security forces to the front lines. And another example that I found was how to say this, pelt poachers from the colonization of America. What they did in USA, North America, and Canada was they had these big packs of fur that they would hunt for in the forest, deep in the wilderness, and they would take it back. And they had a certain sort of a same system to get big amounts of pelts, and you wouldn't believe how much those pelt poachers could carry. And they even used some sort of belt or cloth that they use their heads that would be used in according to the straightness of their spine to help them carry it. And there are some other native tribes of America and in some other parts of the world where they use a similar system. And yeah, as you can see, but then is the question, why would you want this? Well, in a survival, take a look. I'm going to show you why, with some clips, why this could be beneficial for you as a prepper to get one of these external frames. Well, the first of all is, in this case, this is just an example of if you have a bug out location and you have it deep in the forest. So imagine you cannot reach it by car, because if your bug out location is close to a road, then any one of the Golden Horde could find your house or your bug out location very easily. Even if you create a path that is just small enough for one person with a bicycle, a cartwheel, that's still a path that somebody could find and follow. And yeah, that could be very bad in a survival or shit hit the fan situation. So you don't want to create a path. What can you do if your bug out location is somewhere very remote, somewhere where it's hard to reach? Perhaps it's in forest area, perhaps it's in hill-like or mountainous areas where it's hidden. So what you can do is take one of these frames, and of course the thing is, it's best to do this with two, because if the one person carries survival supplies to get to the bug out location and to build it up, or if you fall with this kind of weight on your back, could be a little bit difficult and dangerous. So I always advise, if you're going to carry something like this, have always a partner to your bug out location. And this could be handy if you want to build your bug out location. Like I said, you don't want to create a path, so if you want to move bricks, packs of mortal tools, anything that is big, clunky, too big and clunky to carry in a backpack, this is you could carry a lot of it in one of these external packages. And yeah, I will say that this is not really the most comfortable thing to carry, because perhaps it would be better to get one of those belts that all the weight is on my hips, but in this particular case the weight is more on my shoulders. And perhaps there is a certain reason for it, that it's built like this, because this is built for getting things to the front line and not for prolonged missions in that way. So another thing you can do with this is put your if your backpack is too heavy, perhaps you can put it on the back of this external frame. Perhaps building a little platform beneath it could help you with it. But yeah, for this reason, this is one of the reasons that you could want one of these frames. We're going to the next clip to show you another reason you can use this. So this is an example of how these belt poachers would carry their packs. Another thing, like I said, they would have a sort of bandage around their head that would go through their back, so their weight is a little bit more carried through the spine. So you have to carry this with a straight back. You cannot just go because it's heavy. And as you can see, you can take big bulky things, like in this case this is all a pack of hay. So if you want your animals, yeah, during shit hit the fan is perhaps a little bit difficult, or during a civil war that your animals, like your livestock, could be confiscated or being robbed or stolen or be killed for meat by the government, poachers, thieves, robbers, criminals, all that things. So perhaps you have to hide your animal in a place that is far off the road and where they are not easily be seen. So in this case, you can take a whole pack of hay and you can take care of your goats, your cows that are perhaps somewhere hidden somewhere. It's not only for that reason. This is just one example that I'm giving. But if you have a whole bag of corn or grain or something else that you really need, and you can only get it in big, bulky sizes, it is a good way to do it. I will not admit that this is comfortable by just walking around. As long as you keep your back straight, then you can do some distances with this. But from the moment you always have to do some other tasks where you need to bend your legs, your knees, your back, your arms, then it's kind of annoying after a while. That puts some strains onto your body. So yeah, this is something that you should actually only do if you have a certain path you can go without interruptions and other tasks that you have to do. So like I said, go with other persons, for the other person that will help protect you or carry the foods, water, survival stuff, and you can focus on carrying this bulky piece of thing on your back. So yeah, I'm going to the next clip. So this would be the most likely use for an external frame, and that is, in this case, I put a basket. I binded a basket to it. So what can you do with the basket? Actually anything. You can go to the store with it. You can put your children. You can put a small infant in it, or a pet during a flood. So if there is a flood in your area, you get to water this high, there is perhaps a chance you can safely transport a small child or a pet in one of these baskets. Another thing is, if you want to foraging, if you're going to forage for perhaps plants, nuts, yeah, some apples or pears or whatever you can find in nature, this is something that you can do it. So instead of carrying a bag, you can just you don't have to carry it, but you can just put it on your back like this. You find something up and you throw it in the basket behind you. The same thing goes. This is actually the way how they pick in certain how do you say this? I don't know the English word. The place where they grow, where they have large lines of apple trees, olive gardens, where they have to pick everything and put it in a basket, and they drop it off at a centralized place. So that's a same way you can also help farmers around in your area in exchange perhaps for some of the harvest. But for foraging, it's very, if you find herbs, plants, berries, nuts, whatever, you can just throw it in instead of carrying a cart that is perhaps a little bit too visible, because yeah, this is also a good way to stay a little bit low. If you're going to foraging and yeah, you see some persons, perhaps the person from who the property is, perhaps some local police, and yeah, in Belgium, if you forage stuff that could be considered poaching, and that could get you a fine. So yeah, to stay a little bit low, you can use it a little bit like this. And yeah, the same thing goes with the first example that I showed you. If you're going to take a lot of building materials to your bug location, it is something where you can easily dump a few bags of cement or a mortar inside of it and just get on your way. So yeah, just a very, or perhaps in how do you say this? It is also a little bit perhaps a way to make a bug out bag in the old-fashioned way. So if you watch some backpacks from Scotland in the 17th century, they usually had some sort of wicker basket on their back that it is something similar that you can use to your advantage. If you want to make your own bug out bag, I would advise you to make the external frame, get a little hip belt that will rest on your hips, but it's just any easy way as an improvised bug out bag as anyone else. So yeah, I got, like I said before, I discovered this idea by looking into history, how they used to do things, and yeah, you can learn a lot from those things. And I hope this could be used not only for survival but also in everyday life, because I go a lot with help a lot of people who are building stuff to their house. So yeah, there is a lot of transportation of stuff, materials, tools. So this could be an easy way to do that stuff. So yeah, for everyday carry, literally everyday carry, this could also be a little bit handy. Or if you go into the grocery stores and take a big shitload of rice, yeah, could be also a good way. So yeah, I hope this video gave you some ideas. If you have any other ideas or techniques that you can use the external frame for it, please let me know in the comments. I'm always eager to learn. And I would say thank you for watching, like, subscribe, and see you in the next video. Cheers!